Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be going through this app called Phonto. Now this is my absolute favorite app for absolutely anything photo editing related. So it doesn't have a lot of editing with saturation, all those things, but adding text over photos have never been this good since this app. I've used this in so many videos, but I've never made a dedicated video towards this. So I'm going to be showing you guys all the features that it has, everything that you can do with it, and this is only for the free version. They do have paid options as well, but this is all going to be used with the free version. So yeah, I'm really excited to be doing this video since this is probably one of my most used apps. Okay, going into the app, the first thing we're going to be getting familiar with is basically the setup of the app. So down here you have this camera, and this is the main option for importing or starting your project. So we have take photo, photo albums, plain image, and restore previous state. Now if you click on restore previous state, it's just going to go back to the last thing you did. So this is the last one I did. This was just a wallpaper that I made for my brother-in-law. But yeah, so I'm going to go back down there onto that camera, and then I'm just going to click on reset so that I don't have that anymore. Now let's go to these three lines here at the bottom left. Here we have some settings that you can toggle. You can also go and see which packs you can buy if you don't want to have just the free version. And then we also have a link to the Phonto website. So that's what's basically in those three lines. Now let's go back to that camera, and we're going to click on plain image. And then we have all these things that come up. So these are different styles of backgrounds. The ones with the lock on it means that you need to buy it. So that's that. Then down there we have my templates and the recent things that you've used. So recent colors that you've used for backgrounds. So yeah, it really doesn't matter which one you pick. You can still edit them afterwards. But yeah, you have all these options here if you want a different type of background. But I'm just going to select this plain white one. So we're going to edit it now when we click on it, so let's do that. Here we have a bunch of things we can do. So up here is the first thing you want to click, and then you have all these different sizes. So you have some for wallpapers and things like that, and then you have custom, which is the one you want to select, and then you want to change the dimensions to 1280 by 720 since that is the size of a YouTube thumbnail. And now what you want to do is you want to change the color. You can keep it white as well, but down here you'll see it just says color. So if we tap on that, we're gonna be taken to this screen here, and you have all these colors that you can choose from. So it really doesn't matter which one you choose, and whichever one you choose, you can also save that as a preset, or you can toggle some of the things down there so it has different dimensions, so you can change the warmth and the saturation, things like that. And then you also have patterns that you can choose from. So yeah, I'm just gonna play around with the colors. It actually turns out like a weird different color when you start toggling these things, so they're very sensitive. But yeah, so you can get your desired look from that. So that is what I am doing here, and then I can also select one of these that says empty, and I can add another color, and it starts to bring that ombre effect. So it basically melts from one color to the other. So that is really cool. So yeah, I just played around with some of these, and you can also long hold or long tap and then click on remove to remove one of the colors. So that's also something you can do. Then here where it says vertical, you can change the type of effect that it has. You can go horizontal, or you can go vertical solid or horizontal solid. So the style of your color pattern doesn't have to be ombre, it can be solid as well, and you can select vertical or horizontal. So that's really nice. And yeah, so that's basically everything that you have here. It's really plain and simple. So here you can see we have another color that you can do. I think this is more for if you have borders or something around it, but that you need the paid version for it. You can see down here you have all these different ways of having borders around it, but yeah, you do need the paid version for that. So yeah, moving on from this screen where you basically start to create your plain background, you can click on the extra button and then select use. So then we have taken back to our main screen here, and then we have our blank canvas on which we can start editing. But yeah, that's just how you create a plain background. Now I'm going to show you using a photo from your photo library. Okay, so once we have our selected image, we're taking to this screen where you can select which kind of filter you want over. So my favorite filter here is fade, but it depends on the type of image that I have. So for this image, just to make the purple stand out a bit more, I chose the chrome filter, and then I'm clicking on done in the top right. Before we get to the text, we're first going to look on everything that you can add over your image. So I'm going to be going to these 3 lines here at the bottom, and the first thing we're going to do is click on change theme. So here you have different types of themes that you can select for your image if that's something that you want to do. Again, you do need the paid version for this since it has these shopping bags kind of things on there. And then you have my themes and recent if you have used these before. Then we also have add image. So I'm gonna add a random image over my project. So I just decided to add this plain Apple logo since it goes with the type of theme. We can also adjust the size, you can tilt it a bit, you can select the exact degrees to which you want it to be tilted to. So that's something that you can do. Like I said, you can adjust the size. You can move it around, you can adjust the opacity, so how harsh the color comes through. If it is a little see-through, you can do that. And again, with the size, you can make it bigger or smaller, but you can also adjust the width and the height of how it should look like. So that is really nice. It doesn't really restrict you to just one type of size. You can play around with that as well. It can be helpful sometimes, especially with the text. And then what you also can do is you can move it around using the move tool. So if you see here, if you tap on my image here and then it gives up the more options and you click on move, you have these arrows that pop up. So this one is to select it in the middle, and this one is in the middle from top and bottom, and then you can just click on these arrows to slightly move it certain places. So it just depends on how small of a surface you have working on, so that is also really handy. So yeah, that's basically adding an image over your project. If we go back to these 3 lines here at the bottom, click on add item, you see you have all of these things you can add. So you have some solid shapes, you have some shapes with borders around them as well, and then you just have bordered shapes. So you have all of these that you can add. Then you have some frills here that you can add also to your images. We also have some speech bubbles. I think this could look really cool on a thumbnail with the title in one of these speech bubbles. And then the last thing we can also add is these symbols. So it's basically kind of like social media symbols, so likes and things like that. So you can also add this over your thumbnails or just images depending on what you use this app for. But yeah, this is also a really cool thing that you can add to your project to give it some pizzazz or whatnot. So yeah, they have these additional things that you can add also to improve your photo. Now for the main feature of this app, the text. So tap anywhere on the screen and then you will see this thing pop up that says add text. Click on that and then you'll see this screen. You can select the alignment, so whether it should be left, centered, or right. I like it to keep it centered. And then you can select fonts. So here you can see I have a bunch of fonts. This is fonts that I've downloaded. I'll show you guys later in this video how to install fonts into this app. And this is the fonts that they give you on the app for free. So you can also use some of these apps. They have so many to choose from. You can select which ones you want to toggle off, so if it's something that you don't ever use, so you can also do that. And then you can also select which fonts are your favorites. So here are some of my favorite apps that I've used in the past. Some of these I haven't even used in a while. But yeah, so bottom line, you can select the fonts. Then let's start adding the text. So I'm just gonna select Apple Arcade since that is basically what this photo is surrounding. So basically tap any text, and then you have preset here, so you can add like the time and the date, and then you have some symbols that you can also add. Obviously you can add emojis with the text as well. So yeah, that's basically anything you can do, and then you want to click on done once you're happy with that. And now we have our text here. So first thing, we're gonna go and look through all of these things that you can do. So here you can see you have more options here as well. So first thing we have here is called text. So this is basically just takes you back to this thing if you want to change the text. Then we have size here. So again, it's the same thing. You just select the size. You can click on the plus and minuses as well if you just want to have it increase like with 0.01 within size. So you can do that. Then we also have the option to change the font of our text. So here you can see I'm just selecting fonts, so you can play around with this, choose any font that you want. There are endless amounts, and like I said, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install some fonts. Then you can also tilt your text again. You can select the exact degree of which it should be tilted towards, so you can play around with that. Then here you can see again with the plus and minus if you want it just to tilt it like 1 degree to a certain side. And then style we're going to get to later. Then we have move, so we have the same thing. You can center it from the bottom and the left to right, or just select those arrows if you want to move it slightly. Then we have curve here, which is basically just you can curve your text into a full circle if you want, or just to a slight circle. And then the 3D and erase option you do need the paid version for. And then the other symbols down there is one for duplicate and one to delete the text or whatnot. So yeah, that's basically everything you have here, but let's get to the main thing here, which is style. So this is the biggest thing that's going to make the biggest difference, is this styling option. So they have so many different things that you can do to your text to make it look really cool and just to give it a different look. So let's select here on style, and then we have this screen that pops up. So first thing we have is you can just select the color, so you can change it, or you can select create color pattern down there. But let's just first select any color that we want. So here you can see it's basically the same that we had with the plain background, the same kind of outlook of the type of colors that you have, the same toggles that you can adjust, and then you can also adjust the alpha, which is basically the opacity of your text. So here you can just see me playing around with toggles if I want to change the color. So let's click on create color pattern, and we have the same thing here. You can select different colors and have them blend in different ways. So this is one which is letter by letter. So here you can see I just chose random colors, and then you have vertical, horizontal, character by character, or word by word. So you can have all these options for different types of ways to style your text. So this is how to create a color pattern with your text, so kind of an ombre effect. I decided to go with a purple because it fits with the whole photo. And then you can click on apply in the top right if you are done with your image, or your text, sorry. And then we're gonna go back into style, and then we can also save this style by clicking on those 3 lines at the bottom, at the top right, sorry. And yeah, you can just select save style, so if you want that for future reference and to use that in future projects. You can also add a stroke around your text, so I'm gonna go there, and then you can select what color you want for your stroke. And then here at the bottom you can see you can adjust the width, so you can go up to I don't know how large of a width. And then you can also go inward so that the border is inward and not outward, so basically the inside will get smaller. So yeah, you can do that and apply a kind of stroke around your text. It just makes it stand out a lot more than if you had just the plain text. You can also do the thing that you can add a background. So if you click here, you can see you can adjust the things, but first you need to go to the bottom and select style, and then you can select which type of background you want for your text. So you can have solid ones, you can have bordered backgrounds, so you have endless amount to choose from. So I just selected the one that basically looks like an arrow, but it doesn't have a fold inside. It's basically just a border of an arrow. So yeah, I just selected this one. With the background, you can also adjust some things. So you can adjust the width of it, you can adjust the height of it, so how high it will go with the text. You can also adjust the corner, so how rounded the corner should be. You can add a stroke, you can adjust like the thickness of the stroke of your border, so you can make it very thick or not. You can also change the color of the border or background, if you want to call it. So yeah, you can also like style this to your liking as well, which is really nice. And then up here we have the style option. So here you can add shadow. So here you can see down here you have a bunch of styles that you can choose from. So you can just select one of those, or you can just select the color of your choosing. And I like to select like a higher alpha so it stands out even more. And then you can also adjust the blur of your shadow. So yeah, and then the X and the Y is basically how far the shadow is from your text, so you can also play with that. So that just depends on how far you want the text to look or things like that. Then spacing, you can adjust the spacing between the letters or the spacing between the lines. So this depends if you have more than one line of text in your photo. So yeah, this is very helpful with certain fonts. If the font doesn't have a great spacing, especially with a line spacing, this could be very helpful. I've had to use this numerous times. And then you can also adjust like the underline of the text. So this you can add just like a plain underline. It goes with the same color as your text. So this is like single dotted. You can have dashed dots. You have all these types of underlines that you can choose from. So this is also really nice, another way to spice up your text and just make it look more entertaining, I guess. So yeah, this is also something you can do. And once you're happy with all of your text, you can click on done in the top right corner. And again, you can save the style if you want to for future reference by clicking on those 3 lines. So yeah, this is basically everything that you can do in this styling category. You have the color category that we just went through. And yeah, I hope you understand how to use text now. And then again, you can go ahead and select kind of like the size of your text again. You can tilt it a bit more depending on which works best for you. So that's everything that you need to know about how to style your text. This is probably the biggest thing and one of the things that makes it the greatest. If you click on the arrow in the bottom right, you have this menu that pops up, and then you can just select save image down here and it will automatically save it to your camera roll. Another cool thing is if you have multiple text, you can drag with your finger over all of them and select all of them, and then you can select basically anything of them. So you can change the size of all, like I have 9 here, all 9 texts. You can adjust the style of all 9 texts so that they all look the same, and you can move them all to center them all, anything like that you can do. And then you can also like style the different layouts of how all these texts should look. So that's really cool. So you can also do that to select multiple types of text and delete them all at the same time, etc. So that's really convenient, I think, if you have a lot of text that you need to edit at once. Now I'm going to show you real quick how to install a font into Phonto. So I'm going to go to this website called thefont.com. It's where I download all of my fonts from, and here you'll find numerous fonts. You can search for the fonts as well if you want, if you know what font you want. It's not going to have all of the fonts, but it has most fonts that you would be looking for say thumbnails and things like that. So yeah, this is my go-to website for that. So here you can see this is what the website looks like. You also have some of the most popular fonts that they just put on the homepage of the website. So yeah, like I said, you can search for fonts here if you know exactly what you are looking for. And then yeah, I'm just gonna choose one of these fonts that I already have here on the homepage. So these are some of the most popular. I think I'm gonna go with this one called Smoke Attack since it just looks cool. So to download that, I'm just gonna click on the download button next to it here, and then it will start to load and will ask me if I want to download it. I'll click download and it will start downloading in the download manager at the top right, and once it's done I just click on that and then I click on the file and it will take me to files. Once I'm here, you want to click on the zip file and then it will open up this folder, and you want to click on the file that says .ttf at the back, and then you want to click on the share button at the bottom left corner, and then you'll have this option. Then you want to click on the more option, and then you want to go down until you see copy to Phonto. So once you select that, it will go to Phonto and it will ask if you want to install it. You want to click on install and it says okay, and then you have your desired font installed. Here you can see when I click on restore previous state here at the bottom, it will show again that thing that I recently made. And then if I click on text and I select font, you'll see my font laying here in all the fonts category. This is what the font looked like that I just installed. I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger so that you can see it more clearly. So yeah, that's basically how I installed my own font into Phonto. So yeah, that was my tutorial on how to use Phonto. So I hope that helped you guys, and now you have some more of an idea of how to use Phonto to the best that you can. can. I really do recommend this app a lot for people who do make thumbnails and everything on their phones. This app has helped me so much in the past. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys. If it did, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below letting me know any other questions that you have for me, and I'll try to respond to them. Definitely subscribe by clicking on the icon on the screen. Click on the playlist to see all of my YouTube tips and tricks videos, there's other tutorials and things like this, and click on the video to my previously uploaded video. Love you guys so much, be weird and be proud of it. Bye.